Hello everybody, and thank you for joining the Read Embry channel today. We are going to be talking about how we took this shot in camera with no photo manipulation. I'm going to go step through step about what tools you'll need to take this shot yourself and exactly how we lit it. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. Okay, welcome back everybody. How are you doing today? I hope you're well. You look amazing. We're going to learn something a little bit here today. I haven't previously taken this shot, so I really don't know what it's going to look like at the moment, but I'm very determined and pretty excited about it. So for this project, the very first thing you need, the Valspar Perfect Paint and Primer. I use it in flat. The name of the color of this paint is called Indigo Streamer, and it's a nice blue color. Blue, as you may or may not know, is a complementary color to orange. So we'll be using that. Now, I found these little plastic plates at Dollar Tree. They were $1 for a set of 4, I think. Really, really inexpensive. The one thing that might be a little difficult for some people to find is this sheet of Luan. This is just a plywood board that I have cut down to, I think, like a 24 by 36 inch. Maybe not even quite that large. You can get these at Home Depot and Lowe's. They're pretty cost effective, and that would be what I would suggest. All right, let's go outside and get to work. As I was painting the plates I showed you earlier, I really was unhappy with the finish across the top, so I went back out to Dollar Tree and picked up some more ceramic plates this time. They were only $1, so they're still really cost effective. Anytime you do a spray paint job, especially one involving flat paint, you're going to want to shake it for about a minute to guarantee that you get a consistent shine across the whole surface. Anytime you're spray painting anything, you will need to be wearing a painter's ventilator mask. Okay, now that both the plates and the board have both had 2 coats of paint, we're going to set them aside to dry. While we're waiting for them to dry, I've mocked up a video on how exactly we're going to set up our scene to get this shot. To set up the scene, we'll be placing the blue board, the plate, and the orange in a rough location to where we're going to be shooting it. We'll place the camera directly over the scene and look through the viewfinder to get our final frame. We'll be using the Nikon D800 with a 24mm to 70mm 2.8 lens. To achieve the window light effect, we're using a 24 by 36 inch softbox that is placed parallel to the table edge and resting about 6 inches above it. This is going to give a nice soft fall off across the whole image. This is a high-speed image, so we're going to be using the Godox 8600 BM high-speed strobe light. Finally, to take the scene, you will hold the orange up next to the lens with your finger on the shutter, pressing it exactly as the orange hits the plate. Hello everybody, as you can see, I already have the softbox set up. We're using a 24 by 36 inch rectangular diffuser today because we were trying to mimic window light, make a little nice smooth pool of light that flows over the top of our image, and I think that's going to look really nice. We are also using the Godox 8060 BM flash unit, and we're using that because it has a really high power bulb and it can sync with 1/8000th of a second with the Godox X1T controller. So to begin, we're going to set up our scene like we showed in the video, with a board. Line this up, try to get this centered with this the best that you can. We're gonna line this edge parallel with this edge of the diffuser. Next, we're gonna need the bowl. We're gonna place them in here approximately where we're gonna want them to be in the final image. This does not have to be set until we get the camera in the frame. All right, we'll get it set up approximately centered with our light as well. Now this is the Alta Pro 263 AT tripod. I bought it quite a while ago because I really like this feature. When you open this up, unlock it, and the arm fully extends upward, but also it can extend to come forward and lock in place. And when you tighten it down, it's ready to shoot. Back it up just a pinch to get my little fill card in there. And basically that's what we're gonna use. Above the camera here, I'm gonna open this up and just check my frame. Make sure it's where I would like it to be. And this doesn't have to be perfect in camera even if it's not, because we can do a lot in post. Getting it right now will help save you a bunch of time in post if you were to take a bunch of shots in a row. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and take that shot. Make sure everything is connected and working, and just to see where we're at visually. Oh yeah, that's really looking good. Now on the bottom side, down here of my image is getting really dark. It's got a lot of fall off. So I think I'm gonna add a white reflective bounce card here. Now you can get these really cheap at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I think this was on sale for like $1. They're really inexpensive these days. So I will take another one of these shots. All right, that's looking really good. So another thing that I want to do before I get too far into this process is take a color picker shot. So this is just a little color graded shot that has been mathematically laid out to give you a really nice white balance when you select any one of these gray tones. And then of course you can play around with the different colors there. So I'm gonna put this on the board and it's ready to go. It doesn't have to be in focus or anything, which brings me to my next point. You're gonna want to lock your focus in place when you're taking any kind of top-down or table shot images. It'll save you a lot of time, especially when your focus isn't gonna move. Lock it. So that way the camera doesn't have to search for it. It doesn't have to think about it. When that comes down and you pull the trigger, it's got to go right then. And it will only do that if your focus is locked in place. Another thing I want to mention really quickly is why we chose to use flat paint earlier. We've got this painted flat, we have this painted flat. So when I take a shot of just these two things, you can see that the shadows all the way around this image and all of the light is just spilling across it really smooth, really clean. And I wanted that buttery, silky smoothness across the base of the scene, because really I don't want people to focus on it. I wanted to kind of blend in the background without having too much detail to keep all of your focus and all of your eye on this image. So when your base surface is really nice and smooth, anything that's shiny on top of that is gonna pop out and add a lot of contrast to your scene. So now we've done our color checker, we checked for our focus, we have our fill card in line, we got our lights triggering, and I think that's about time for us to try a shot. We're gonna go ahead and add the water, and I'll take another shot for an example. I've found that though this process is really tedious, if you have a clean board and a clean tray, and then it's just the water coming out, it has a much more dramatic effect. The more water droplets that are all over the board and the plate and everywhere else, the more distracting the image seemed to be, and it didn't really come to life the way I wanted. So I'll take another shot of this. And as you can see above here, just on the top, there's a really shiny ripple, but that little tiny hot spot that you see on the top of the plate there is actually going to be in the edge of every one of the splashes that comes out. So I think we are about ready to try and take a shot. Let's see how this goes. So get it off of live view mode because that's going to slow the process down. Take a shot, get your thumb in line with where it's going to be and used to taking shots. Okay, we're going to try it. 3, 2, and let's see. I was a little early. Yeah, it looks like it stopped it just above the water, which is unfortunate. And I wasn't kidding, I'm going to actually reset this with every single shot. And I'm not going to show you. I'm just wiping it, cleaning it off, drying it off, pouring the water back in, and we're going and shooting again. To do that right now. That wasn't that easy. Try not to spill. It'll just frustrate you. Oh, another reason why I got 3 plates instead of just 1 is because I figured there would be some damage to them as I was doing this, and I wanted to give myself a little bit of safety and time. And in fact, I left a little bit of water on a plate that I was using earlier and all the paint bubbled off. So I'm really glad I got 3 plates. That's something to think about. Now we are ready to keep trying to take this shot. And I'm going to try this again without resetting it. There we go. All right, let's see. I think the problem with resetting it every single time is that I get that rhythm off and I can't just immediately reset it and try again. So I think that's a really good image. When we bring it out into post, we can probably clean up a lot of those water droplets. I know I said to clean it every time, but well, that's just a really good one. All right, so I'm gonna reset it one more time. Okay. 8th time to charm, right? Here we go. Oh, don't step on your table. There we go. I think that shot was worth doing. All right. That is exactly what we are looking for. So, we'll use a reference image here real quick. This is the scene with just the orange in the plate. And yeah, it looks really pretty because you've got the 2 complementary colors with one another. But it was really flat and really quiet and really stagnant, which would make a really great fine art print. I'm not gonna lie, it looked all right. But just adding a little bit of water, throwing it in there, going an extra step above, kicked it up a whole nother notch, I think. Added a lot more life and a lot more energy to the scene. All right, everybody, that's pretty much it for today. I wanted to make a mention again about the Godox 8600 BM flash unit. It was how we were able to sync this shot up with 1/8000th of a second using the Godox X1TN sync unit that goes on the top of the camera. And I'll be doing a full comprehensive review on this light coming up here in the next week or 2, so stay tuned for that. As always, if you liked what you saw and you learned something, it would really help me out as a new channel to hit that like and subscribe button so that you can stay up to date with future releases. Thank you so much and have a great night. Hello everybody, we've decided to actually add a little bit of bonus content to this video and show you quickly how we're going to use that color picker. So as you can see over here, this image is looking a little bizarre and quite a bit different than the images that we were showing you in the video, and that was because they are the white balance that was straight out of the camera. Now if we select our color picker image, hit Command or hold down Command and then select the other image that we want to use and then click Opening Camera Raw. Once they load, I'm going to click the image that we've chosen and see this is actually kind of crazy. It looks really dark purple almost, as opposed to the blue that we want. And we don't really like that. And I shot this intentionally knowing that it was going to do this with the image. I always shoot a little bit flat and then edit all the contrast and the bright colors in post. So we'll go up and we'll select our color picker image, hold down the shift button and click on our other image. So you'll come up here to your white balance dropper tool. I will just click that because I don't know what the hotkey is. Just come on down here to the white and click. And you'll see right away that it's going to turn this into the exact white balance that we wanted and needed the whole time that we were shooting. And that's really all there is to it. You just come in here, open up your image, select both. Now you can see that this is a beautiful blue and it was intentionally shot to look like this from the very beginning. Alright, so that's it for the bonus content for this video. If you liked anything that you saw today, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.